in my time, I don't think they called it the Cold War. I think it was called something like, it was just fear. The Russians are coming. In fact, that's a familiar saying. There was a movie. The Russians are coming. The Russians are coming. And I think my first remembrance of it, I think, was in 6th grade. And they came in and told us we're going to have to drop and cover. And of course we listened to it, and then we, said okay, whatever. And then one day the teacher yelled out, "Drop!" And we all dropped, And I remember looking at her, and she was laughing. And so, I don't know if anybody really believed in it, but that's probably like 1947, 1948. Then the Berlin airlift happened, and you kind of knew something was going on. That it was adversarial, the relationship, because that was really an awful thing. They wanted to starve the people out of Berlin and make us leave. And then when I was 19, we went to Germany, my friend and I. I bought a car there and we traveled, and then we did see it. We couldn't get into Germany. We had to fly into Berlin, and we didn't think we could get into the Russian sector. But we met a guy who was in the travel agency, and he said, "Yeah, I can get you in there." And so we went in, and it really hostile. And they had posters up on the lamp post, and they had pictures of Hitler with superimposed, I guess, with Roosevelt and Adenauer, who was the chancellor of West Germany. And it said in German like three faces, all the same thing. So, it was really going on over there. They were very serious about it. And, and then we traveled around Europe, and we, of course, couldn't get into the Eastern Bloc at all. And we saw those guards, and it was really, the whole Eastern Europe was a police state. And then, when we came back, we really realized that it was kind of a war footing. And then when we were over there, all our buddies from high school, of course, had been drafted, and they were posted there, and we must have had a couple of 100,000 troops in Germany, and they were scared the Russians were going to come storming through Germany. And it was kind of silly because they were already there, but I guess they figured they were going to keep coming or something. But so then you didn't think much about it. You went on to high school, and then the Korean War started, and that was really the Cold War. And then I think they started about talking Cold War. Then they started talking about Cold Warriors, and Kissinger was the ultimate Cold Warrior. He was always, got to treat them, got to really be tough with them, be ready to fight them. And then guess what? The people started fleeing from East Berlin, crawling over the barbed wire and even getting shot, and going up in balloons and coming across, and so they started the Berlin Wall, and then you really knew you had a war going on then. And guess what? I got drafted, and that was what it was all about. It really went on a war footing, and then Khrushchev sent the missiles to Cuba, and everybody in this country was terrified. They said that was just like 10 minutes away from a missile war. And Kennedy was tough, and I guess brought it right up to the brink, and the Russians backed off. But that was the peak of the Cold War right then. And if you read about it now, they said they were pretty close to going to war. And then things moved on to Vietnam, and that was part of the Cold War too, because they said, well, we've got to stop them there. We stopped them in Korea, and now the Russians are giving them North Vietnam all of their weapons, and they're going to take over the dominoes. You read about the domino effect, where one country after another would drop, and then we'd be surrounded. And it went on like that, clear through Vietnam, and then everything kind of mellowed out, and then Reagan came in and started rearming us. and so they tried to rearm, stay with us, and they went broke. And that's when it collapsed, and there was no more Cold War. That's the story of the Cold War.